Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we are going to be checking out the TMNT Ultimate Series 5 Krang figure. Yeah, this is one I'm actually really excited about. Also, it's kind of bananas that we're getting two whole Krangs in here, because that's how they did the alternate face. It's not like an interchangeable head. You get a whole extra Krang in here. Really fun stuff. So I'm pretty excited to get this guy opened up to take a closer look at him. But real quick, does come in the standard window box style packaging. You can see everything on the inside, both Krangs, the walker, the arms, the accessories there. And as we rotate this around to the back side, we do have a new bio for Krang, the bodiless burbling brain. So pretty fun stuff. So why don't we go ahead and get Krang the brain outside of the packaging, and we will get a closer look at him. All right, we've got our Krangs outside of the box. So here you go. The Bubble Walker stands just short of 6 inches tall, whereas Krang by himself on his little bouncer here, he's about 3 inches tall. And yeah, that's one of the things that's really cool about this, is you essentially get two whole Krang figures, and you have two different ways to display him with his walker or the little wheelie deal. I don't know what the name of that thing is, but you can use both of them, meaning you have two fully displayable Krang action figures, which is pretty darn cool. So the Krangs themselves are very, very nice. I love the expressions on them, especially this one here. So the one I've got over on the walker right now, definitely much more inspired by the vintage toy from Playmates. This one is sort of like a new expression where he's yelling, but I love the wide open mouth. I love how like deep that goes, the tongue curling on the inside, the bright white sharp teeth. Mostly he's just molded in this bright pink, but all of these painted details like the blue veins, the bright yellow eyes, I mean, all of that does look really, really nice. I think he's very cool. And you can see he's solid all the way around. He does have articulation just at the tentacles. We got the ball-like hinges there, so you can swivel them all around. They can move up and down. This particular Krang has got his tentacles outstretched, while our other Krang over here, let me pull him off of the Bubble Walker. So you can see this one, like I said, is styled much more like the vintage toy from Playmates. So he's got the curled tentacles there. His mouth is a little bit more closed, but you can see same kind of sculpt. See, no tongue or tonsils or anything on this one. Like, that's one thing that I really love about the other one. Like, look, you can see the tonsils back there. I think that's very, very cool. So you got two very nice Krang figures within this set right here. So there's nothing that actually plugs them onto this tiny little walker here, but you can see it does have a little dip on there. He sits on it just fine, so that's a really great way to display him. Of course, also, both of these Krang can fit on the Bubble Walker, so you can use whichever one you want. It's got the slots in the side of the bubble, so that his tentacles can come through just like on the vintage toy. So now we're going to talk about the Bubble Walker. And man, this is where things were so close to being perfect with this guy. But this right here is where all of my issues lie. And it all comes back down to the articulation, which is far too loose on this. Before I get into that, I do want to say I love the deco on this. Now, the vintage one from Playmates was just molded in gray, had a little bit of this blue and purple on it in the legs. So Super7 did a really great job here, adding a lot of details, a lot of color. You can see they used some metallic silvers, which are very shiny. So you can see the metallic silvers on the legs. The arms are totally made of those metallic silvers, even the inside of the chair here. So the colors and the paint deco on this thing, yeah, look at the details on the back. All of this is very nice. I like this quite a bit. The bubble works just like on the vintage, just kind of opens and closes there. But they did add in quite a bit more articulation with this. So the arms do have to be plugged into the side, and they are kind of on those little like ball joints there. So you can see you can roll them around. But interestingly, you also got these hinges where the elbows would be. Look at that. So you can like bend at the elbows on that. And then the hands are just like the hands on any figure. So they're on those hinge joints there. So they can roll all the way around and kind of hinge up and down, which is pretty cool. Then you have the same ball-like joints at what would be the thighs here of the legs. So you can see they go in and out, up and down, forwards, backwards. You got bends at the knees. You got bends at what would be the ankles, which is essentially just the toes of the feet moving up and down. Now, you might see how very loose these legs are. And man, yes, this is where my problems lie. Because when we take Krang and we put him in here, that obviously adds weight to this. This walker has a really hard time standing. It is way, way, way too weak, specifically in these long toe parts of the feet here. These are so weak, and because of the awkward nature of the way this whole thing's designed, especially with the big robo arms on there, he's top heavy. So these need to be very tight joints in order to keep him standing, and you can finagle it, you can get it there, but do you see how easy those toes bend? It is so easy for him to fall forward. And even at times when I got him standing, when I was doing photography of this guy, after a while, it would just get weak and he would fall forwards. It is really, really unfortunate. And, you know, he kind of bend the knees around too, because I was trying to figure out the best way to do it. I didn't know if I should bend the knees backwards or stand it straight up and down. It definitely seems to balance a little bit better if you kind of bend the knees forwards a little bit like a regular knee. But man, those toes really, really give out on this guy, and it bums me out, man. All right, so with some accessories, we do actually have interchangeable hands, which is kind of cool, not something I was expecting. So you can see we've got the gripping hands here, but we've also got two hands that are like wide open, and then we've got a closed fist and a pointing finger. And again, just like with the other figures, you can pop these right out of the socket. You can plug the new ones in. These go in all right. I mean, they feel a little loose, but they are holding fine, so it really is the legs that are the loose parts. The knees, the thighs, and especially the toes. Look at the way this thing is just folding over. Oh, this is driving me insane. Gosh, I hate that. Okay, so the last accessory we've got to talk about is he does have like his brain drain gun there. It's got the cable on it. This works just like the vintage if you had that. You can plug it in to this little hole on the bottom. And then if we give him one of the gripping hands here, you can plug this gun into his hand, and that holds really well. But do you see what problem we're going to have? This adds extra length going outwards, and already this thing just can't stand very good. Look, he's balancing on his gun. But that's not what you want. You want him to be able to like hold the gun up. There we go. Look, bending those legs like that seems to work a little bit better. Hey, all right, we got him. We got him standing. Look, everything about this is almost perfect. I love the sculpt. I think they did an incredible job with that. I think the paint deco is really, really nice. This looks like a great figure, but it's incredibly frustrating trying to pose it because of how weak all of those joints and the legs are. Those should absolutely be tighter on this guy. I know some of you out there that do the customizing or the fixing up of your stuff could probably do something to get those joints to be a little bit tighter so that he stands well. But as a guy that just buys toys, I'm here to say I shouldn't have to do that, right? I shouldn't have to fix my toys when they come in, especially when they're $55. So I am really bummed out by the really loose joints on this thing. Otherwise, he'd have been perfect. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So let's go ahead and stand them alongside the vintage one. My vintage one's missing the bubble. Don't mind that. But look at these two standing side by side. You could definitely see where the inspiration was taken for the new one. And you can see that the new one is quite a bit bulkier than that of the vintage one. But kind of cool to see it updated for this brand new figure. So there you go, my friends. That is a look at the brand new TMNT Ultimates Krang. I don't really know what else I can say about it that I haven't already said. Look, there are a lot of positives here. I love that you get two whole figures, and each of them have their own little walker, so you can display both of them. This is excellent for anybody that also has dioramas, that wants to set up multiple scenes, because you've got two Krangs in this pack, which is pretty awesome. This thing would have been perfect if the articulation in the legs was tighter, and that's all there is to it. Guys, this wave is starting to ship right now, so they should be arriving at your door if you already pre-ordered them. Thank you so very much for watching this video, and until next time, my friends.